All right, hi YouTube. How are you doing? All right, there is the Cash App. There's the Cash App. Hey Facebook. Hey, say hi if you guys are coming on. Say hi. Comment hashtag replay if you're watching the replay, so I can see who comes on after I post this. And that's for both Facebook and YouTube. Okay. So let's see here. Here is the Cash App. Okay, I do see the star comment pinned, so that means my comments are going to work well today. It's just when the star comment is not showed as pinned, then that means my comments are going to be all messed up. It means I have to keep refreshing just to see all his comments. Okay? Now the Cash App is pinned, and if you want to see the star comment, it will be in the comments. Okay? And here is the Amazon wish list. I got to go back over my Amazon wish list. I haven't seen it in a while, so I want to make sure everything's correct there. So I got to do that. Okay? Now, there's the ground beef. I'm about to cook it. Okay, let's turn it on. Let's get this pan warmed up. I've got this and I've got this to smash it. All right. So we're having cheesy sloppy Joe stromboli. Cheesy sloppy Joe stromboli. So it's going to be cheesy. It's like a sloppy Joe, and it's a stromboli. So it's going to be a pizza dough that's going to be folded over like a stromboli. Okay? Alrighty. So we've got tomato sauce, brown sugar, garlic powder, onion powder, Worcestershire sauce, some beef bouillon powder, ketchup, mustard, pizza crust, and it says, I wrote down shredded cheese, so I'm guessing I can mix up a little bit of cheddar and Colby Jack. Because Colby Jack has Monterey Jack in there too, so that's a combination of both. Sometimes it just says Colby Jack on the bag, but it has Monterey Jack in there. You can see the yellow and white cheese. Okay? Now, I'm going to look at this video so we can see what we're doing. This is from Instagram, so you won't be able to find it, but if you like the recipe, you can, you guys on Facebook and YouTube, you guys can watch the video and write down what you need. You can forward it a little bit as I go on, okay? And I might do it at the end, all the steps I should say at once, and then, so you can write it down if you don't want to watch the whole video. But also at the beginning, I always try to tell you the ingredients like I just did, and the measurements. I just named the ingredients. I'm going to go back and, as I hear them on the video, I will let you know. Okay? So once again, I'm going to slowly say it. We have brown sugar. No, we got 2 pounds of ground beef. 2 pounds of ground beef. Okay? Brown sugar, tomato sauce, garlic powder and onion powder, Worcestershire sauce, or put the W sauce, whatever, beef bouillon powder, ketchup and mustard, pizza crust. Okay? It will be 1 can of pizza crust. Okay? Now the ketchup and mustard and the Worcestershire sauce, brown sugar, it all makes that sloppy Joe sauce. Okay? Now, I have another recipe that's a sloppy Joe casserole thingy by Rachel Ray. She doesn't use the beef bouillon, but brown sugar and all that stuff, yes. And the sauce smells so good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the video, and I will, when it comes to the rest of the stuff, the garlic powder, onion powder, beef bouillon, ketchup, and all that stuff, I'll let you know the measurements. All I know so far is it's 1 can of pizza crust, 2 pounds of ground beef, but I'll give you the exact measurements. So, you can write it right beside it. If you just made the list of ingredients and wrote it down as I said them, you can write down the measurements right next to it as I get to them. Now first, I'm just trying to, because it's a little bit frozen in the middle. Okay? Trying to get some of here. I have to cook a little minute so I can break it up some more. If it was more frozen than that, I'd probably put it on a cutting board and I'd cut it up into little chunks. That's what I do. I press down hard on the knife and make little chunks of it, and it will cook it quickly. That's only when it's like a little more frozen than this. Okay, so let's bring this up. This is on Instagram. Now, like I said, you can, watch my video and write down the ingredients as I say them in the steps. And it only going to keep it up for 30 days on Facebook. So if you're on Facebook, before the 30 days, write it down. Cheesy Sloppy Joe Stromboli. But if you're following me on YouTube as well, or you want to go look me up on YouTube, you can find the video there after 30 days still. So, if you don't get a chance to write it down. And if you would like me to send you the recipe and you're on Instagram, let me know. We can follow each other if we're not already. But if we are following each other, then good. But if we're not, we can follow each other. And I can message you the recipe. You know how you can message each other on Instagram. I can do that for you. But if you're not on Instagram, I can still share the recipe to Facebook. I think to Messenger, I'm not sure. But I can share it other ways. So just let me know, and I can always share it Messenger or put it on my Facebook Cooks if you need me to, if you're part of that group. Because I have a Facebook Cooks with an S. Okay, it has all different kind of recipes in there. And you can share and post recipes in there as well. And if you use a recipe in the Facebook Cooks group on Facebook, all I ask you to do, you don't have to, it's not a requirement, but I would like you to, if you're going to use a recipe, comment, making this for dinner or making this today. First of all, that will let everybody know in the group what you're making, and it'll also bump. So when you're looking for it, when you're ready to make it that day, because you want to do it on the same day, you can find the recipe. Okay? And then under that comment, click reply and post a picture of how it turned out. So that means when you're done, take a picture and then go to the group where you made the comment for making this tonight or whatever you said. Click reply and post a picture. Click on the camera thing when you click reply, click on the camera thing and it'll bring up your pictures. Okay? Because I'd like to see what other people's recipes come out, what the recipes that are in the group, what they look like from other people. Sorry guys, just trying to pound it out. Got most of it. Okay. All right, let's bring this recipe out. Let me find it. I just had, well, no, I didn't click on it, but, oh, here it is.
Then you're going to love this recipe because this cheesy sloppy joe stromboli is hands down the best way to enjoy a sloppy joe. So let me show y'all how to make it. So you're going to start by browning up 2 pounds of hamburger meat with some diced onions. You're going to drain off the grease and then season it with some beef bouillon powder, some onion powder, garlic powder, salt. Stromboli is hands down the best way to enjoy a sloppy joe. So let me show y'all how to make it. So you're going to start by browning up 2 pounds of hamburger meat with some diced onions. You're going to drain off the grease and then season it with some beef bouillon powder, some onion powder, garlic powder, salt, black pepper. Then you're going to add some wash your sister sauce, some tomato sauce, a squirt of ketchup, some yellow mustard, brown sugar, and then you'll give this a good mix until it's. Once it starts simmering, you're going to turn that heat off and set it to the side.
Let me see if I got it in my
1 can of pizza dough. You're going to sprinkle some cold.
Hold on, guys. I'm going to check to see if I got it in my inbox. Hold on. I don't. So what I'm going to do is, hold on guys. In the comments, I must not have. She says comment recipe. Usually they're so automated when you comment recipe that you automatically get the recipe like this. So I'm gonna see if not, I'll just follow the video. But and she dumped some with a spoon of tomato sauce. I didn't see her dump a can, so I'm not sure how much. Because I buy Cooking with Katie Cross. What I buy like 1 or 2 cans, about 2 cans of 15-ounce tomato sauce, and then I buy a few cans of 8-ounce tomato sauce. Why? Because there's some recipes that only call for 1 can of 8-ounce, which are the small ones, and some that call for the big can, 15-ounce. Now there are some that say 2 8-ounces, which if I have 2 8-ounces, I'll use that. Or if I only have 1 15-ounce, I'll just use the 15-ounce can. It's okay. It may be an ounce short, but that's okay. That's okay. Okay. Let me go. Oh, let me go back here and see if it's been sent. Because I was looking at my food, I didn't see if a notification came up with it being sent. Nope, there was another recipe I wanted to write down earlier, and I thought I had already said recipe because I couldn't find it in my messages, but I guess I hadn't, so I did it because I had saved it. But if they tell you to comment recipe, usually they'll send you an instant message on Instagram with the recipe, with the link to the recipe, and then so you can have the full thing. Okay. Okay, Cross, there it is. It was on my, I had to accept it. I jumped to recipe. So here it is, so I don't have to play the video. And underneath where it says jump to recipe, which means it'll take you right to the ingredients and the instructions, right under that it says pin the recipe. So I can pin it if I want to pin it yours. Jump to recipe. Alrighty, so once again, it's cheesy sloppy Joe stromboli. Okay, now it tells you the equipment you need. Now we all know we need a large skillet, a spatula, and a baking sheet for the stromboli and the baking sheet. We all know. Okay, like I said, it was 2 pounds of ground beef. So you guys should only have to write down the measurements if you got the whole list already written down. Okay, and write down, because I didn't say it because I forgot. Write down yellow onion. Oops. Yellow onion diced. It says half a yellow onion. So half a yellow onion. It's okay if you want to do a white onion. Go ahead, because I think all my onions are white. This one fell out of the bag onto the counter. Sorry guys, I'm trying to break up my onions. It says half an onion. I don't really measure. So I'm going to just put some handfuls. You can do whatever you want. You can measure it. You can do half an onion, a whole onion if you like more, whatever you want. If you like a lot of onions, barely. If you don't like no onions at all, don't put any in there. But me, I dropped it. So I'm going to put it in the trash. Babe, come here. So it's all slippery. What? Jazzy, can you get the broom for me? Because they ain't supposed to have onions. So they probably got a few onions every time we feed them something, but with onions in it. There's some right in front of the refrigerator. It just slipped out my hand. It was frozen. I'm going to look up and see how long onions last in the refrigerator. See if I can put them in a Ziploc bag in the refrigerator instead. Okay, so anyways, 2 pounds of ground beef, half a yellow onion. I'm just reading what that says. So if you want to use a white onion, or if you want to use less or more onion, it's up to you. But anyways, mix it in with the ground beef and cook. Cook your ground beef like, you normally would. Okay? All right, so sorry guys, I got some onions on the counter, which I'm just going to dump in here. Just cook it. And then she says, and I have said it to you before too, you can do it this way, or if you want to just put the seasonings in right now, you may do so. But she says put the seasonings in after you drain it. She puts the seasonings in after she drains it. Now, if you haven't heard me say it before, or if you don't know why we wait till we drain it, which I keep putting it in before I drain it, which I shouldn't, but because when you go to drain the ground beef, all the seasonings would have gone into the grease, or most of them. So now your ground beef won't taste as seasoned as it would if you put the seasonings after you drain it, if you know what I mean. Okay? So, and somebody told me that, not a cook, but my son's friend, he's really good at cooking. He's the same age as, I think he's 24, 25, but he told me that. Okay? And it made sense. So, and a lot of the cooking recipes I watch, they say that too. Okay? So I'm stirring it up, and I put this on medium-high. That's how I cook my ground beef. Okay? So most of y'all know how to cook ground beef, and put some onions in there. Okay? Now, some of it's still red, but it's more than half done, so I'm going to let it continue to cook. Okay? And we're going to look at trying to clean up these onions I dropped, and we're going to look at the rest. Let me give you the rest of the measurements and ingredients while I'm waiting for the ground beef. 2 pounds of ground beef, half a yellow onion, or you can use a white onion if you want. Or I do have it in the refrigerator. I need to start using it too. The onion, you know how you get minced garlic in a jar, or you can get it in those squeeze bottles. I've gotten ginger, and I've got some onion in my refrigerator in a squeeze bottle. I could have just squeezed a couple of splats, like, I could do that too. 2 cups Colby cheese, Colby Jack, but Colby cheese shredded. Okay, now I'm probably going to take, because it says 2 cups. Now I probably won't measure. I know one huge handful out of my hand is 1 cup, because I've measured it before. But I'm probably going to do 1 cup of Colby and 1 of shredded, and mix it together in a bowl, because I like them mixed up. Unless half of it goes in the silver time, then the second half, then I'll do half a cup of one, half a cup of the other, mix it up, and do my thing, and then do another half cup, like that. 1 can of pizza crust. Okay? You can use store brand if you want. You don't have to get the Pillsbury. 15-ounce can of tomato sauce. That's what I pulled out, because that's what I thought. Okay? 1 15-ounce can. Okay? 1 tablespoon of yellow mustard. Half a cup of ketchup. Half a cup. 1 tablespoon of brown sugar. So that would be 2 pounds of ground beef, half a yellow onion, 2 cups of Colby Jack cheese, 1 can of pizza crust, 15-ounce can of tomato sauce, half a cup of ketchup, 1 tablespoon of yellow mustard and brown sugar, 1 teaspoon of beef bouillon powder, and garlic powder and onion powder, and 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper, 1 teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce, and 1 tablespoon of melted butter. Okay? So you can rewind it and replay it if you want, if you want to, when this is done, if you want to go back over the ingredients. Because at the beginning I listed them, I named them all except for the onions. But then I went back and I said it a couple times just so y'all can get it. Okay? Now, I'm going to tell you step by step. Number one, this is step number one. In a large skillet over medium-high heat, cook the diced onions and ground beef until the meat is no longer pink. Drain any excess grease. Then we're going to season it with Worcestershire sauce, beef bouillon powder, onion powder, garlic powder, salt, and black pepper. Okay? So once the meat is cooked, we cook it with the onion. And then once it's done, then we're going to season it with the Worcestershire sauce, the beef bouillon powder, onion powder, garlic powder, salt, and black pepper. Now, as I put each one in, I will re-mention how much of it I'm putting in there, like a teaspoon of this, and you know. But when it comes to the onion powder, garlic powder, salt, black pepper, I might not even measure it. I might just shake it in. That's how I do it. But I will re-mention the measurements, okay, as I go along, okay? And if this paused on you for a few seconds, that's because it says it's refreshing. It hasn't done that to me in months and months and months and months. But every once in a while, I used to just start spinning and say refreshing, and it looks like it falls to you. So just give it a few seconds, and it usually comes back, okay? It usually comes back after a few seconds, okay? Alrighty, so we see this? I do have another bottle of ketchup in the cupboard if this doesn't make a half cup. Now, you probably all saw this, but I'm going to show it to you anyways. If you take this, hold the bottom, if you got ketchup all up in here, you take it and watch the ketchup. See it going around in a circle, okay? Going around in a circle. Just swing your arm around. I just don't want to hit that. Swing your arm around like this with the ketchup. Okay? And all the ketchup down here will come down here. I did that last time I used it in the refrigerator like this. Okay? All right. And the mustard, let me make sure. All right. It says yellow mustard. Because I think I have some Dijon mustard. I needed it for a recipe. And there's a recipe coming up that will take Dijon mustard, so I'm glad I got it. Okay? Just basic yellow mustard. And if all you have is Dijon mustard or something like that, just use it. I think it'll be okay. And if you have Dijon mustard and you need yellow mustard, just use Dijon. I don't think it's going to hurt anything. Okay? So, and then when you drain this, you can drain it in your strainer, or you can just do what everyone's doing now. You know, putting the paper towels in there and straining it. That's what I've been doing. But, okay, it's almost done. Okay? I'm going to put this back in the freezer. I may use it one more time. But I am going to look up later how long can you leave diced bell peppers and onions in the refrigerator. Because I'd rather have them not frozen. And I used to cut them up when I need them, but the past months and for a while now, I've been cutting up a whole bunch and just putting it in a bag and freezing it. Just pulling it out when I need it. You know? Okay? All right. All right. And if I'm in a hurry and I'm getting onions last minute, I'll either get a frozen bag, they're small, or I'll get the ones that are already diced up in the in the section with the fruits and vegetables. Yeah. Okay. So. Okay. So, I'm going to take out usually I just use a spoon because I don't feel like pulling these off. But today I'm going to use them. I'm going to take out 1 tablespoon and 1 teaspoon. Like the salt or pepper that says 1/4, I'm just going to sprinkle it. I may not measure the powders, just the ketchup, mustard, the beef bouillon, and the Worcestershire sauce. That may be the only thing I may measure. Okay? Alrighty, so let me get paper towel ready. Okay, and it's going to be put on a cookie sheet. So let me scroll down here. Okay, because I got to get everything started putting in there so the meat doesn't burn once I drain it. So before I strain it, drain it, strain it, whatever you want to say, I'm going to preheat the oven. Now you want to preheat your oven to 425 degrees. Okay? I had to scroll down in the instructions to see that. If I was writing instructions, I'd write it at the top. Number one instruction, if it was going in the oven, would be preheat your oven to and said temperature, and then I'd start on like get a deep pan and cook your ground beef and blah 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 blah. You know, but I would start out with preheat your oven to instead of putting it near the bottom, because some recipes like this one did that. Like one time there was a recipe just recently, I think. I had to wait till the end of the video because I was on with you guys and I didn't want to board it and then rewind it or something. But I didn't know the temperature and didn't mention it till near the end. So I put it in an oven at 400 and something degrees, is what she said at the end. It's a sweet lady, but at the beginning, if I was just recording, I would have been like, before I get started, preheat your oven to 425 or whatever it is, you know? Okay. I can smell the ground beef. I can smell the onions. That's basically. Some of the. If you don't get all of the grease out, it's okay, but just get most of it. Okay? I still got a little bit in there, but not. Okay. So, what is this thing doing? It's messing up on me. All right. Alrighty, so now we need. Now I'm going to read step number 2. Stir in the tomato sauce, ketchup, mustard, and brown sugar until everything is well combined. Turn off the heat and set aside. That's how fast it is to do that first and second part. Okay? So we're going to stir in tomato sauce and then the ketchup. So let's do it. 1 can of 15-ounce tomato sauce and half a cup of ketchup. Okay? So, and if you want to have the, let me wipe my can. Oops. Hold on, guys. I forgot to plug back in my can opener. If you want to have the can already open, okay, sometimes I forget. I'm trying to. Okay. So, I got that. Oops. Okay. I just got some on my hands. Okay, so half a cup. Half a cup. Half a cup of ketchup. Thank you. Started coming out right away. Sorry, I was trying to get all of it out. I was hoping it would fit in there. That was plenty. Okay? Okay. Put that right there. Okay. I dry my hands when I wash my hands with paper towel. And I usually save the paper towel to keep wiping my hands if I get something on my hands and stuff like that. But I'm now using it to clean up the ketchup that got squirted on the counter. I just don't want to end up rubbing my hands in it or getting anything else on it. So, okay, so we got the tomato sauce and the ketchup in here. 1 can of tomato sauce and half a cup of ketchup. Remember, 15 ounce. If all you have is 8-ounce cans of tomato sauce, the little ones, go ahead and put 2 of those in there. It will be 16 ounces. It'll just be an extra ounce. It's okay. I promise you it's okay. And if you only have a 15-ounce can and you have a recipe that asks for 2 8-ounces because it wants 16 ounces, it'll be okay if you're short an ounce. So if you're ever short an ounce or an extra ounce, it's okay. Okay? I promise you. Alrighty? Now the yellow mustard is 1 tablespoon. So I've got my HEB, my store brand. Okay? So 1 tablespoon. And remember to double if you're going to like make 4 pounds of ground beef because you want to make, like if you're going to make 2 different strombolis, I would suggest, hold on guys. I would suggest 1 of 2 things. You either have 2 different, I always lose when I start talking, I lose my train of thought. So don't pay attention to me if I lose my train of thought. See anybody on here? Nope. So, what I was going to say. Yeah, I'll stop and have to think for a minute. That's just how my brain works. Oh, yeah, if you're going to make 2 of them, make sure you have 2 different cookie sheets. I have 2 cookie sheets, and I'm only making 1. But have 2 cookie sheets and put foil on it so you don't have to clean up all that mess. Or, if you only have 1 cookie sheet, you can make 1 stromboli, pop it in the oven for as long as I'm going to end up telling you. And then when it's done, put it on a plate, a platter, or on a piece of foil that's on your counter, and then make the next one and get it in your oven if you only have 1. It's possible to do 2, but you just got to do it that way, okay? Now, 1 tablespoon of brown sugar. That's why I was wiping my tablespoon from the mustard because I knew there was going to have to be something else. Okay. So let's get 1 tablespoon brown sugar. Okay.
Pick a comment.
Huh?
Pick the comment.
There's a comment? Okay. Hi, me. How are you doing? How are you and Paul doing? Hi, Kate. How are you doing? Well, a lot of times I shop at Walmart, Kate. I shop at Walmart. But I rather shop at my main grocery store here called HEB. If you live in Texas, you know what HEB is. I'm not sure where you live, but if you live in Texas, you know what HEB is. HEB, they have yellow coupons hanging all over the store. They've got coupons on their app that you can cut and save and use at the store or online if you order delivery. But yes, but because of sometimes me using a 4 payment system that I have, like an Afterpay, Afterpay used to be my highest. Let me see. Limit, like I used to have almost $1,000 on there. I didn't use that all, but that was the highest I had, and I can't use that at HEB, so I'd have to go shop at Walmart. So sometimes there's reasons why I have to shop at Walmart, but I still rather get some stuff at HEB because I like the cheese better. They've got HEB brand sodas that taste so good, and they're only like $5.50. for a 12 pack or 2 for $8 when they had their coupons out. HEB's got a lot of stuff that's better than Walmart. And HEB has some stuff that I can't find at Walmart and vice versa. So, yeah. So that's that. Okay. So now, beef bouillon powder. 1 teaspoon of beef bouillon, onion powder, and garlic powder. Okay? 1 teaspoon. So, let's get this. Okay. 1 teaspoon. I bought this big thing. Well, it's not real big. They have a chicken bouillon that's like this small if you don't need much of it, but they don't have a beef bouillon. This is the smallest, but it's okay. I have a chicken bouillon too. All right. So then, a teaspoon of garlic powder and onion powder. Now, I'm probably not going to, I'm just going to do that's it. If it's a little more than a teaspoon on the onion powder and garlic powder, it's okay. Ain't nobody going to kill. And if I were you, I would, when you're done, and once I'm done mixing all this, I want to turn it off. I would like take a little spoon and taste your meat, and then fix the seasonings if you need a little more of something, or you want to add something that's not on the ingredient list. You can add your own seasonings if you choose. All right, 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt. Okay. Sometimes the heat from the pan. Okay. That's it. Now black pepper, same thing, 1/4 of a teaspoon. Get it all over. Okay. And then 1 teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce. I'm just going to put a dab or 2 more because I love the smell and the taste of Worcestershire. Oh, it smells so good. I love smelling it. I know, I'm crazy. Alrighty, so. Oh. Tomato sauce, ketchup, mustard, brown sugar until everything is well combined. Number 3 says line a parchment paper. Line a baking sheet with parchment paper. Or lightly grease it. I'm not going to line it with parchment paper. I'm going to line it with foil. Roll out the pizza dough onto the sheet. Press it out evenly. Sprinkle 1 cup of shredded cheese over the dough. Spoon the sloppy dough mixture over the top. Then sprinkle with the remaining cheese. And it does not even mention the Worcestershire sauce. It says it in the ingredients, but oh yes, it does. It says drain any excess grease, then season with Worcestershire sauce, beef bouillon powder, onion powder, and garlic powder, salt, and black pepper. That's what it wanted me to do. Then it wanted me to stir in the tomato sauce, ketchup, mustard, and brown sugar. But I mixed them all together. I did all the seasonings and the Worcestershire sauce with the tomato sauce, ketchup, all in the different orders, but it all comes together. Okay? Now we're going to turn it off. Okay, I don't want it to get dried out. See, I turned it off. Okay, at the end, it's going to say, you're going to brush the top with melted butter. So if you want to melt the butter now, you can. So that will be 1 tablespoon of melted butter. 1 tablespoon. So I'm probably going to put 1 tablespoon in here. This is a condiment cup. Dishwasher safe, top rack only. Do not use in the microwave. Do not use in the microwave. So let me find something else. I only need something really small. I'll just use this, even though it's big, but I'll use that. What did it say? 1 tablespoon. So I'll scoop out 1 tablespoon of melted butter, melt it, and let it just sit until I'm ready for it. Okay? So, okay. All right, the oven is preheated. It's done. Trying to get this all out. All right. It's almost like I like to rinse everything. As soon as I use it. If I'm not going to use it again. Okay, we're going to go with 30 seconds. Just trying to get this water hot. Okay. Like if I'm just going back to back of measuring and putting things in there, I'll just put it in the sink and rinse them when I'm done. Okay. So it's still bubbling a little and still cause. Okay, I'm gonna taste the peas. Okay, guys. Oh my gosh. That tastes so good. No, I used to shop at Aldi's. I love Aldi's. Aldi's is my store. And yes, they do have great prices, but we don't have an Aldi's here. I don't know if there's one in Texas at all. I think there is. I think there's one an hour away. Because I tried to look it up. I think it's an hour away. But there's none here in San Antonio. So, I would if there was. Because me and my husband, we used to shop at Aldi's when we lived in Virginia. When we lived in the state of Virginia, we shopped at Aldi's. But the fact is we don't have one here in San Antonio. Because I think I looked it up once, and I think I saw that there was one about an hour away. I don't know if it was near Austin, because Austin is an hour away. Or was it the opposite direction? I'm not sure. But, so yes. I love Aldi's. Yes, and Aldi's is like, Aldi's is good for anybody, but, you know, you can get really cheap stuff there. And pay a quarter for your shopping cart. I remember that too. Okay, so number 3. We are going to line a baking sheet with parchment paper or lightly grease it. Now, if you're on here, comment below, or if you're watching the replay, is parchment paper the same as wax paper? Because I think I have wax paper, but I don't know if parchment paper is the same thing. But I'm going to use foil. Okay? So, let me go get the foil. Guys, I try to have all my ingredients out and ready a lot of times. But I'm going to promise you that there's always going to be something I forget. Like, I would have the foil, the pan already lined, or at least the foil taken out of the drawer and over here, but I always forget. Okay. So, alrighty. So now we are going to open this. We're going to put it on the sheet pan, and we need to roll it out. I don't have a roller, but I'm going to do the best I can. And press it out evenly. Roll it out, the pizza dough on the sheet, and press it out evenly. Okay? That's why it's better to do it on here instead of like putting a foil on the counter and rolling it out on the foil and then picking up the foil and putting it on the pan. Because you don't want to roll it out any bigger than your sheet pan, you know. Oops. But if you're not going to use foil, or if you're not going to use parchment paper, then please spray your sheet pan. Okay? Because if some people don't want to use it, some people may not have it at that moment or can't afford it. Okay, now I had to pick up the dough because you want to put the edge, the part that is going to come up and unroll. I'll show you guys. This part, let me see. That part, you want to start it at one end. Okay? And then just kind of hold the edge a little bit and unroll it. Unroll it. Okay? And let's just push it. You make sure your hands are clean. I definitely tell you because I wash mine. Just kind of flatten it a little bit. You don't want to make it too thin so that when you fold it over, it rips or that it starts ripping before you even get to put anything on it. You know what I mean? Okay? All right. Now, if you see a part that's fatter or thicker than another part, just push it. Like push it. Like this edge over here is a little thick still. So I'm trying to push some of the dough down towards the other end so I can stretch it out. Because you don't want to have a thin edge and then a thick edge, you know. A thick part and a thin part, you know. Okay? Alrighty. And I always want to double stuff for leftovers, but looking at the size of this pizza dough and stuff, this is good enough size. We don't need 2 of these. And if we don't have leftovers, we don't, but that's plenty enough. Okay? That's plenty enough. Okay, I will show you. If you know what a regular cookie sheet looks like. Okay? All right. And comment below what you're making for dinner tonight, or if you've already made dinner. Okay, so now we did number 3. That was line the baking sheet, and then if you're not going to use a liner, lightly grease it. Roll out the pizza dough on the sheet and press it out evenly. Sprinkle 1 cup of shredded cheese over the dough. Spoon the sloppy Joe mixture evenly over the top, then sprinkle with the remaining cheese. Okay? So they want you to sprinkle 1 cup of cheese on the pizza dough, then put the mixture, then put the other cup. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get a bowl, and I'm going to get the cheese out, because some stuff, the only thing I don't take out right away is like cheese. I don't want it sitting out while I'm cooking. You know. So I got cheddar and Colby and Monterey Jack. So I want to use both, but some people just sprinkle some of one and then some of another on top. I like to have them mixed inside each other, if you know what I mean. Like them have them, integrated, combined. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a cup of each, which will make 2 cups. So I'm going to get a big handful, which will be 1 cup. Okay, so in the bowl, I'm going to have 2 cups of cheese. And I'm going to just sprinkle half of the bowl cheese on the bottom, and then I'm going to do it all at once. And then I can add a little more if I need a little more at the end. Okay, so there we go. Now, put it up here so in case anything spills, it spills on the counter because it's full. I'm trying to mix it together. Gosh, why did it do that? My thing messed up. Keeps on messing up. Okay, so we're on number 4. About sprinkling 1 cup of cheddar cheese over the dough. Okay, so we're going to take the cheese. I'm sorry, because if I put it up too high, then you can't see the pan and the other stuff I'm doing. If I put the iPad on the stand up a little more so you can see my face better, then you wouldn't be able to see that. And people want to see the food too, so it's hard to do both. But anyways, let's sprinkle about half this bowl. And if you want to use a little more than what it says, cheese, go ahead. And if I sprinkle a little much and I run out, like I don't have enough to sprinkle across the whole top, I can always pull some more out the bag. It's no big deal. No big deal. That should be my saying. It's no big deal. Now, if you only have a limited kind of cheese, if this is all the cheese you have, then you want to be careful. But other than that, all right, so that's good. Now I'm going to dump this. Sorry, if it blocks the camera, I'm sorry. Just for a moment, I'm scooping out, spoonfuls and just placing them randomly on the, all over the place. Okay. Alrighty. Now, I'm going to have to somehow, you want to keep it a little bit, not a whole lot, but you want to keep it a little bit from the edge. You don't want it all the way to the edge. Okay. There was some video on the recipe page that started playing, if you heard that. But yes, so I am going to, this looks so good, I'm telling you. I'm going to show it to you now, and then I'm going to show it to you with the cheese on it. Okay? This is what it looks like. All right, Miss Debbie, I love you too. And Thomas loves you too. I'll send you the recipe. Look at that. That looks so good. Now, I'll show it to you again once I put the cheese on top. Now, I'm going to show YouTube, but sometimes it comes out blurry. But there it is. Now, I have a very good shortcut for you guys. I just thought of it. It will work, but that's up to you guys. If you're in a rush and you can't do all of this, cook your ground beef with the onion, and then you can go ahead and season your ground beef if you want to still, but you don't have to. Dump a can of sloppy Joe, the big cans. Since you're doing 2 pounds, dump the good brand. It starts with an M. The good brand of sloppy Joe. You can dump it on there, mix it up, and then do this. If you want to take the shortcut. Okay? Okay. So now, and if you do make any of my recipes that I am recording, please send me a picture in Messenger, or if you're on my Instagram and you got it from whatever. Just send me a picture if you can, so I can see what it looks like. Okay? See? You can put anything inside a stromboli. All right, there we go. I'm just going to sprinkle a tiny bit more. I just wanted a little bit more. Okay? That's me. If you want to add a little bit more than what it says, when it comes to the onions, if you want to add a little bit more, or a little less, or no onions at all, because you don't like onions, go ahead. That's all up to you. Same thing with the seasonings. If you want to add, more of the seasoning they ask for, more than a teaspoon or tablespoon, go ahead. That's on you. Same thing with the Worcestershire sauce and the beef bouillon and the ketchup and mustard. Well, I don't know how it would taste if you add more of that, but okay. So now, sorry guys, my hair was getting in my face, even though I had. All right, here you go. That's what it looks like with the cheese on it. Okay? All right, let me show YouTube, and then I'm gonna take a picture of what it looks like when it's wrapped, when it's folded over before I cook it. Okay? Alrighty, so now we did that. Now we're gonna fold the edges of the dough towards the center, overlapping them slightly. Press the ends together or fold them underneath to seal. Cut 4 to 5 slits across the top and brush with melted butter. Okay? So we want to take this side and stretch it over to the middle, and then this side and stretch it over to the middle. Try to overlap them, and then I'll get a knife and we will cut the 4 to 5 slits in them. Now the dough is getting a little, like, when it gets hot, because it's on the cookie sheet, but the cookie sheet's on top of my stove, which the stove is hot because I've got the oven preheating. Next time I'm going to put the cookie sheet on the counter, away from the heat of this, so it doesn't it gets real sticky. And just try to overlap it, but it's breaking too. Breaking apart. Because next time I am not going to. Just kind of roll it like you're pushing the meat with it too. Okay? Now, oops. Yeah, it's getting real thin. So it's breaking. So it might kind of ooze out. But that's okay. Next time I'll move the cookie sheet and not leave it on top of the stove. Just remember that. Like, do it on your counter or your kitchen table or whatever. So it doesn't get all, and it makes it thin out and break apart when you do that, okay? I don't know if y'all can see that, but where it's split, let me see. See some of that split? Where it's split, I'm going to use that as, one of the splits. Yep. Okay. So, we got one there. Let's see. 2. Come on, now it doesn't want to split. Come on, 2, 3. All right, this 4. Just want to try to get the top split. I don't want the bottom, all the way to the bottom. Okay. All right, so we got that. Now, and I do have some 4 chicken thighs that I have thawing out. That is because I'm going to read on it, but I'm going to boil plain chicken in water and cut it up for my dogs and put it with their dinner tonight. Yes. I'm not going to season it or nothing. Unless I'm going to read it and see if there's anything I can season it with that for them. Okay. So now got these little spatulas and silicone brush. But if all you have is one of those wooden brushes, with not the silicone brushes or spatulas, and it's okay. Okay, now we want to brush the melted butter on top. Remember, it's 1 tablespoon of butter. If you want to do a little more, just to be okay. Then we're going to bake it at 425, which is preheated, for 15 to 20 minutes. Every time it says one time to the next, I always start with the lowest time because it might be ready at that time. And it also, you should, if you know your oven, or until golden brown on top. Remove from the oven, slice into pieces, and serve warm. Now, here's some notes. It says, let the sloppy Joe mixture cool before adding it to the dough. If it's too hot, the dough will become soft and difficult to work with, making it likely to tear or leak while baking. There you go, because it's the cookie sheet was sitting on the oven that's on top of the stove that's hot, and the meat was hot. So just let it cool down a little bit and keep your cookie sheet on the counter so when you put the dough on there, it doesn't get too hot. But if you have a favorite homemade pizza dough recipe, that works just as well. So if you have a homemade pizza dough recipe, that'll work too. Just be sure to roll it out into a rectangle before adding the filling. Okay, so this is a tablespoon. If it's not enough, you can melt more, or if you want to melt more than a tablespoon, just like a tablespoon and a half or something, just to make sure you have enough butter. Go right ahead. But the way it's looking now, it looks like it will be plenty. And that's a teaspoon, and I melted it for 30 seconds in my microwave. If you don't have a microwave, because a lot of people don't, just put a tablespoon or two of butter, probably just a tablespoon, in this little small pot. This is the smallest pot I have. I used to have one that was even smaller than that. But just melt some butter in there and just brush it from there. Okay? So get the sides too. Woo! Get the sides too. It used up all the butter perfectly. See? None wasted. And there we go. Alrighty, so that's all done. I'm just get butter all over my hands. I'm just re-squeezing some of this that's coming apart because I don't want it to come apart. Okay, I don't want it to come apart. All right. So now. All right, it's been an hour. Now, as quick as it is to make the meat and stuff, it should take you only less than 30 minutes, probably 15 minutes, because it takes about 8 minutes for the ground beef. It could take you maybe 15 or 20 minutes for the ground beef, and then maybe another 15 minutes to roll out the dough and do all that stuff. But it might take a little longer if you're letting the meat cool. But anyways, or you could take, if you have room in a freezer, you can put the meat in the freezer for like 5 or 10 minutes and let it cool down faster. You know, like that's how we used to put like a plate or a bowl of our toddler's food in the freezer just for a few minutes so it cool down faster. Because you know how your toddler will be hungry and they're going to be looking at you and everybody else eating and she can't eat because her food's too hot. So, alrighty, so let's see. So now, 15 to 20 minutes, we're going to do 15 and then check it. Now, they're right. If you put it on top of the stove while you're preheating your oven, it's going to be hard to work with. And if you put hot meat on there like I did. See, you got some of the liquid from the meat already oozing out. But it's okay. It's okay, guys. Alrighty. So, we're going to time this for 15 minutes. Alrighty, there you go, guys. I know it's going to be good. I found a bunch of recipes that are good. I've written down a bunch of recipes. What I usually do is just write the title. I used to write down the date that I was going to make it, but then lately I haven't. I just wrote a bunch of pick. Then I write down, under the title, I write down the all the ingredients. I don't usually write the measurements, just the ingredients, so I know what to buy at the store. The only time, like if it says, for example, let me take an example, 5 cups of pasta. I'll write 5 cups so I can make sure that when I look at the, what the servings are, the serving size, I can make sure that there's enough for 5 cups in there. And if it's not, I get a second one. Certain things when I need to know the measurement so I can get the right size or get the right number of boxes or things, you know. But like when it says onion powder or garlic powder, I'm not going to write 1 teaspoon of onion powder because I can read that or see the video and, you know. And then after I write down all the ingredients, then I'll check off the ingredients that I already have at home. And then just buy the ones and add the ones that I don't have to my shopping list. That's how I usually do it. And then on the side of the paper, next to the recipe name, I'll write down Instagram or Facebook Cooks, my recipe group on Facebook, or Pinterest, or wherever the recipe came from. Okay? That way I can be able to tell you guys, and I know where to find it when it comes time. Because there's been a couple of times when I've forgotten to write it down, and I couldn't find the recipe because I didn't write down where I got it from. So I'm searching Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, I'm searching them all. Okay? Just going to go ahead and rinse some of these dishes. And let this water get hot. And then I'm going to just, rinse the pan and put some water in it so I can soak it. Though none of the ground beef with the sauce stuck to the pan. Like when I fry chicken and you got all those, from frying you got all those black bits and, or you make macaroni and cheese and all the cheese is stuck to the pan and, but this one, no. Probably could just rinse it, but I want to get all this sauce. So I'm going to rinse it a little bit and then fill it with water. And I usually just set it back on the stove and let it. That's what I try to do. Like right after I'm done eating or before I start eating. Sometimes it's right after I'm done eating, but sometimes because I want to let my food cool. Then I'll put my food away real quick and then I'll just fill up. Especially if it's a big pan like this, I'll fill it up with hot water so it can soak for like an hour or two before I clean up. But if I'm going to clean up right away, I'll do the pan last so it can have some time to soak. Okay. So there we go. My stove is dirty. But I ain't worried about that because after I wash dishes, I always wipe down the stove. Okay. Now, let's get some of this put away. Where did I have? I forgot where I had the mustard. Oh, I want to show you guys. This is ginger, but I have an onion one like this too. You could just squish. I use Spice World. I have one for onions because the one time we didn't want to buy onions and cut them, so we got that. See? I use Spice World for the garlic. It's in here. But I got to buy some more of this. I might buy a bigger one because I use it a lot because I don't feel like cutting up garlic. Garlic I don't like cutting up. Oh. All right, let's see. Anything else go back in the refrigerator? Nope. So. Shoot. I was going to have me a soda. Yes, I was going to have me a soda, but I guess I'm having me this. Hawaiian Punch, because I'm thirsty. I think I forgot to finish my coffee this morning. It's still sitting in my bedroom. But anyways, if anybody's still on here or you're watching the replay, do you guys put... I finally found the reduced sodium Worcestershire sauce. I've never seen it, but they didn't have it in the big bottle, so I couldn't get the big bottle that I usually get. Do y'all put Worcestershire sauce in the refrigerator? I used to. Then I stopped doing it because I didn't think you had to. So, it's not going bad. It wasn't bad when it was in the refrigerator. It's not bad that it's not in the refrigerator. And I also have minced onions. That's like a freeze-dried onion. I have a big one like this of minced onion. So if I wanted to use, if I don't have any real onions or, the onions in the Spice World jar, squeeze out, I I could just use the freeze-dried onions. I mean, you don't want them to fry and get burnt because they're not like a real onion, but they'll still give you that. They'll still give you that flavor, if you know what I mean. Okay? I was eating crackers with some cream cheese. Cream cheese is gone. I'm just trying to put some stuff away here. Especially stuff that belongs in the refrigerator. I don't want it to sit out. Okay. And then after I get off with you guys, I gotta put some soda in the fridge. I do have some Sprite. Well, it's the HEB brand Sprite. That's cool because the HEB brand is so good. I even get, the 20 ounces you get at the register. I'll get the HEB brand for only $1 something instead of almost more than $2. So, and it tastes good. I usually don't like non-name brand sodas, but this is good. I'm trying to, my hands, it's wet. I'm trying to open it. All right, guys. Having a little trouble here. Oh, I think I got it. Okay, I got it finally. But yes. And usually the 12-pack of HEB brand sodas, and they also have some of their store brand sodas with sugar cane sugar. I don't like sugar cane, so, but they do have like a 12-pack of Coke, like regular Coke. I mean, not the name brand. I'm talking about store brand, just regular. And then the other one is sugar cane. But yeah, they're usually $5.50 for a 12-pack, so that would be $11 for two. But lately, they've been having coupons. Well, they have every time we went in there. That's why I go to HEB to get my drinks because it's almost I think it's almost $10 or $11 just for one 12-pack of regular Sprite. But lately they've been having those HEB yellow coupons hanging over there, or you'll see them on the website. I mean the app, because you can click cut, and it'll cut the coupon and save it. So if you're ordering on the HEB website for deliver or for curbside pickup, you can use coupons. As soon as it recognizes that you've added to your cart what the coupon requires, then it'll apply that coupon. And if you end up deleting something that was for that coupon, it'll take the coupon off. So it knows. But anyways, lately they've been having coupons for 2 for $8. 2 12-packs of the HEB brand soda for $12, including the sugarcane one. So that would be like $4 a piece. So that's like, but you have to get 2 of them to get it 2 for $8. But that's like saving $1.50. Let me see. So you're saving $3. $1.50 on one, but you have to buy 2 of them. So you're actually, when you buy 2 of them, you're saving $3 because it's usually $11 for 2 of them. If you buy 2, $5.50 and $5.50 is $11. So if they're 2 for $8, then that's saving $3. And that's not bad. Now, if you want to, you can buy if you wanted to buy 4 cases, which would give you 48 cans of soda. Now, you don't have to buy the same, so you can buy, I just say Sprite, though. It's not called Sprite in the cheaper. Sprite, Coke, root beer, whatever they got. If you want to do 2 sets for 2 for $8, you just have to grab 2 coupons because you can't just use 1 coupon for an unlimited number of sets. You got to have it. Like if there was $1 off a bottle of ketchup, let's say, and you bought 2 of the same bottle of ketchup. If you want $1 off each bottle, you would have to get 2 coupons. See what I'm saying? You would have to grab 2 of the paper coupons. They hang them near where the food is. Or sometimes it'll say, buy this and get this free. But there's 5 minutes left on the timer. So we got 5 minutes, and then we'll see what it looks like. Oh, I forgot. I was going to take a picture of what it looked like before I stuck it in the oven. And I was going to show you guys. I forgot to show you guys. Sorry. But anyways, if you're doing it online, I'm not sure if you buy double product, will they take that amount off twice? I don't know. But I know in the store, if you show them 2 coupons, they'll take it off twice if you have double the items. Yeah. So like if you had 4 HEB sodas and you had 2 coupons, they 2 for 8, both for first set of 2 and then the second set of 2. You know? Yeah. So, but if you only want 3 cases, then you would get 2 for 8, and the other one would be the original $5.50. You know? So anybody coming on YouTube? No, what's going on, YouTube? Come on, guys. Let's get some people on here, even though I'm near the end. We got 4 minutes, and then I'll pull it out and show you guys. Because I wanted to show you guys what it looked like after I folded it, before I put it in the oven, and I was going to take a picture too, but I totally forgot. So it's okay. But when we look at it at 15 minutes, if it still needs a few more minutes, then we'll put it back in. Because it said 15 to 20. But most times, no matter where I lived, because it all depends your oven. And it all depends this oven where I lived before, or whatever. But everywhere I've lived, everything has always been done on the minimum time. Except for sometimes bacon. It says cook the bacon at 375, a pack of bacon, for 12 to 16. And at 12 minutes, it's done, but it's really soft. So I end up cooking it a few more minutes to make it a little more crispier. So that's about the only item that sometimes takes a little longer. But most of my items do the minimum time. Hi, Shannon. How are you doing? Yeah, I'm near the end, but I'm just waiting. We got about 2 minutes, and then I'll take the food out the oven. It's a cheesy Sloppy Joe stromboli. Cheesy Sloppy Joe stromboli. All right. It's just ground beef. Has a little bit of onion in it. Then it's got the seasonings, and it's got Worcestershire sauce, a can of tomato sauce, some beef bouillon powder. The powder, not the cubes. And some ketchup and mustard. All mixed up. And then you take a pizza dough, the store brand or the Pillsbury, and roll it out and spread it out on your cookie sheet, on one of these. And what it recommended, which I didn't pay attention, is you let your meat filling cool a little bit before you put it on the dough. Because once the dough is spread out on the cookie sheet, you're going to sprinkle it with cheese all on the bottom, and then you're going to put the meat mixture. But you want to let the meat mixture cool a little bit, because if you don't, and you put it right on top, it's going to make the dough, you know how if the dough is near heat, it gets unworkable and it's going to rip apart and blah, blah, blah. So you want to let the meat cool a little bit. But what you want to do is when you're spreading your dough, unrolling it and spreading it out on the pan, it's best to put your pan on your counter, because you're preheating your oven. The stove top is hot from the oven, so that could mess up your dough too, which I didn't realize that. That's the first thing I said. I kept the pan on the stove, and when I tried to fold, because when you're done putting it in the middle and then adding another layer of cheese, you're going to fold the dough over one side and the other side over, and you're going to pinch it together closed. Then you're going to put 4 or 5 slits in the dough, and then you're going to brush it with a tablespoon of melted butter. And then cook it in a 425 preheated oven for 15 to 20 minutes. But if you keep it on the stove, or you put the meat on there too hot, it might make it, which that's what I did. When it started ripping apart, I was like, oh, I put it on a hot stove. But then when I was reading more, I realized it was also the hot meat. So hopefully it didn't all. Now you want it to be nice and brown. This is 15 minutes. Okay, I don't think it needed 20, but I will show it to you. You can hear it sizzling. There we go. Perfect. It didn't even ooze out, even though right here is where it was ripping. So I use that as one of my slits. I tried to slit it here, but you can't see. See, like here is one of my slits. See? But look. And it is 4:42. About the time it's to take my dogs out. So I'll probably end up just laying something over this. And we'll eat it when we come back because it's very hot. So that way it can cool down while we're walking the dogs. So there it is. How does that look, Shannon? How does that look? That's mostly what strombolis look like. Oh, I forgot to turn it around. Sorry. There we go. All right, let me try and show YouTube. Okay, so I'm going to take a picture of it. I'm going to take a picture of it. Okay, I found this on Instagram. So if you'd like me to send you the recipe, let me know. Somebody already asked me. Yeah, it is puppy. And that's just pizza dough. I will send you the recipe. I can send it through Messenger. I think that's an option. If I can't, then I'll post it on Facebook for those who are not on Instagram. But if I could send it, if you're on Instagram, I could send it. And sorry, it was refreshing on a separate message on Instagram. But if not, then you can just watch the video. Because at the beginning, I did mention all the ingredients. And then once I brought up the video, I found the link with the recipe. So I didn't have to watch a video. I could just read it. I gave all the ingredients with the measurements. Some of them you can just use to your liking, like the seasonings, like the onion powder and garlic powder. I just sprinkled some in. I didn't put like a teaspoon like it says. But I did measure the beef bouillon powder, the Worcestershire sauce, the ketchup and mustard, and stuff like that. But see here, it says, let the sloppy Joe mixture cool before adding it to the dough. If it's too hot, the dough will become soft, difficult to work with, making it likely to tear or leak while baking. I like to use Pillsbury refrigerated pizza dough for convenience. But if you have a favorite homemade pizza dough recipe, that works just as well. Just be sure to roll it out into a rectangle before adding the filling. And that's where you're going to put the sprinkled cheese on the bottom, a cup of cheese, put the mixture, and another cup of cheese on top. Now, you can use Colby Jack. It just says shredded cheddar. It says shredded cheese. I mean, you can use Colby Jack, cheddar cheese, whatever you want. I use Colby Jack and what was it? It was Colby Jack and Monterey Jack. Colby Jack and Monterey Jack. That's what's in one bag. That's in one bag. The Monterey Jack is the white cheese. You know, when you buy Colby Jack and you see white cheese in there too. And I mixed it in a bowl with cheddar cheese. And then I sprinkled a cup of it on the bottom and then on top of the meat once I put the meat in there. Okay? Now, since you're using onion powder, garlic powder, beef bouillon powder, Worcestershire sauce, ketchup and mustard, and I think that's it. And salt and pepper. You can add other seasonings along with it, or you could exchange them. But the beef bouillon is the best to keep because it'll give it a good flavor. And you don't have to use the measurements for the powder seasonings. Like the salt and pepper, you don't have to put 1/4 of a teaspoon of each one. You can just sprinkle it like this if you feel like it. But before you put the meat mixture on, I would take a taste of it. And if it tastes like it needs some other seasoning or more of a certain seasoning, like more salt or more pepper or more whatever, go ahead and add it, stir it up, and taste it again. Okay? Just letting you know that. Okay? So, Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and hopefully the mixture didn't shrink into the middle and try to, and that will be my piece. But I'm going to eat a piece off the corner so I can taste it for you guys. But then I'm just going to cover it because it's really hot and we're going to let it cool while we walk the dogs. So you can get ready with the dogs, babe, wherever you are. I'm just letting him know he can get the dogs ready. Like putting their harnesses on and getting them ready because I'm just going to do a taste test. Then I'm going to do my ending and then we're going to end it. And then I'm going to take another picture once I cut my piece off when I come back so y'all can see what the middle looks like. I did show the middle before I baked it, Shannon. But, okay. YouTube. Sorry, I forgot to blow it. And it really does taste like sloppy Joe. Now, what I did suggest, Shannon, for people who don't want to take the time or ones who are in a rush and want to do something super quick, still cook the 2 pounds of ground beef with the onions mixed in it. If you don't want onions, don't put them. But cook the ground beef, and then when you drain it, season it, of course. But don't add the ketchup, mustard, Worcestershire sauce, or brown sugar. Because that's all part of making the flavor for the sloppy Joe. Take a big can, because you got 2 pounds, so you want a big can. The big can of the sloppy Joe, the Hormel or whatever the good brand is of the sloppy Joe in a can. I love that sloppy Joe in a can as well. I used to use it all the time until I've been finding recipes on how to make my own sloppy Joe, which is just basically, like I said, ketchup, mustard, brown sugar, Worcestershire sauce, But anyways, avoid those and then just dump the can in there, mix it up, and let it cook for a few minutes to warm up the sloppy Joe sauce, and then make your stromboli. That's quick and easy. That's one less step. Now, if you want. Now, doing it the way the recipe says with the ketchup and mustard, I'm telling you, that may take you an extra 5 minutes. That's it. It's not like it's going to take you extra 30 minutes. No. And a lot of people don't have just a can of sloppy Joe sitting around. But a lot of people do have ketchup and mustard and brown sugar and stuff like that. Even beef bouillon powder they may not have, but all those other things you're likely to have. So you can do it the quick way like that or just add everything, okay? Well, I'm going to go ahead and get off here since I'm done. And either tonight or tomorrow I'm going to post the pictures. I took a picture of the outside of it. I was going to take a picture of what it looked like, the dough looked like with the stuff inside it before I put it in the oven, but I forgot. But I'm going to take a picture after I cut it into it so you can see what the inside looks like. Okay? And I thank you guys for coming on, and I appreciate everybody who came on. Shannon, Miss Debbie, Kate. I thank you all. Me. Thank you all for coming on. So, and I want y'all to stay positive, work on your goals, do your thing, and I want y'all to know that I love you very much. Same thing for you, YouTube. And I hope y'all have a good evening. Come back and watch the beginning if you missed it. And I appreciate you if you're on here and you're watching the replay. Okay? Just remember to comment #replay. All right? So have a good evening, a good night, and I will talk to you guys later. And I love you. Talk to you later, YouTube. And talk to you guys.